Hey everybody, looks like we got a whole bunch of requests to take a deep dive into gold tooth crowns. Guess everybody's suddenly going for that Midas touch, huh?
Well, there's definitely a renewed interest in gold crowns these days. A lot of people are curious about their benefits and how they stack up against other crown materials.
Yeah, especially with all the new options out there like zirconia and porcelain. So, where do you even want to start with this?
Well, before we get into all that, maybe we should clarify what a gold crown actually is.
Good point. It's not like a literal crown, for royalty or anything.
Right. Think of it more like a little cap for your tooth, custom made to fit snugly over it.
Oh, so it's like a little helmet.
Yeah, exactly. It protects a damaged tooth, restores its shape, and helps it function properly again.
Okay, so that makes sense, but I gotta ask, why gold?
Well, gold has actually been used in dentistry for centuries. It's super durable, biocompatible.
Wait, centuries?
Yeah, going way back to ancient civilizations like the Etruscans and Egyptians.
Wow, so gold teeth are like historically cool.
Absolutely. But beyond the history, gold has some unique properties that make it a great choice for dental restorations. It's strong enough to withstand biting forces, resist corrosion, and is gentle on opposing teeth.
So it's like tough but gentle.
Exactly. And it rarely triggers allergic reactions, which is another big plus.
Okay, so gold sounds pretty amazing so far, but I'm guessing there's got to be a catch, right?
Well, there are a few things to consider. Pure gold is actually too soft to be used for crowns on its own.
Wait, really? So what do they use then, like fake gold or something?
Not fake gold, but it's mixed with other metals to make it stronger. These mixtures are called alloys, and they're actually different types of gold alloys used in crowns.
Different types. I thought gold was just, gold.
Nope. There's high noble gold, which is the most expensive but also the most durable.
High noble, huh? Sounds fancy.
It is. It contains at least 60% gold, platinum, and palladium, which are all noble metals. These metals resist corrosion and tarnish, making the crowns super long-lasting.
So if you're going for gold, high noble is like top tier stuff.
Exactly. Then there's noble gold, which is a bit more affordable. It has at least 25% precious metals and might be a good option for some people.
Okay, so high noble and noble, got it. What about the rest? Like, is there a lowly gold or something?
Well, there are also non-noble alloys, but those contain less precious metals and more base metals.
Base metals.
Yeah, like nickel or cobalt. They're less expensive, but might not be as durable.
Interesting. So choosing the right type of gold alloy depends on your budget and how long you want the crown to last.
Exactly. It's a balance between cost and longevity, but there's more to consider than just the metal itself.
Like what? The design. Do they come in different styles?
Well, the design's important too, but I'm talking about the pros and cons of gold crowns in general.
Ah, right. We talked about the durability and biocompatibility, which are big pros. But what about the downsides? There's got to be something.
Well, the most obvious one is aesthetics. Gold is, well, gold. It's noticeable.
Yeah, you're definitely making a statement with a gold tooth.
Some people love that look, especially for back teeth, but others might not want it for their front teeth.
I can see that, especially if you're going for that whole invisible look.
Exactly. And there's always a slight risk of allergic reactions, although it's rare with high noble gold.
So you got to know your body, basically.
Right. Be aware of any metal sensitivities you might have and talk to your dentist about them.
So it's like choosing jewelry, but with higher stakes.
That's a good way to put it. And speaking of jewelry, let's talk about the cost of these golden wonders.
Yeah, because gold ain't cheap these days.
True. Gold crowns typically range from around $800 to $2,500, depending on various factors.
Whoa, that's a pretty wide range.
Yeah, the price depends on things like the type of alloy, the complexity of the crown, your dentist's fees, and even your location.
So you got to factor in the bling tax, huh?
You could say that, but remember, gold crowns are incredibly durable and can last for decades with proper care.
So it's like an investment in your smile, kind of like that fancy jewelry we were talking about.
Exactly. It's a long-term solution for a healthy and beautiful smile.
Okay, so we've covered what gold crowns are, the different types of gold alloys, the pros and cons, but what about all those other crown materials out there? How does gold stack up against the competition?
Ah, yes, the crown showdown. That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's start with porcelain, the classic alternative to gold.
Porcelain crowns are known for their natural-looking appearance. They can be color-matched to your teeth perfectly.
So if you're going for the invisible look, porcelain's the way to go.
Exactly. But porcelain isn't as durable as gold, especially if you're a grinder.
So you got to be careful with those pearly whites.
Right, and sometimes the cost difference between porcelain and gold is as significant as you might think.
Interesting. So you might not be saving as much as you think by going with porcelain.
Exactly. It's all about weighing the pros and cons and finding the best fit for you.
Okay, what about porcelain fused to metal crowns? I've heard of those.
Those are a popular option too. They try to combine the strength of metal with the aesthetics of porcelain.
So they're like a hybrid crown.
Exactly. But they can have some drawbacks, like a potential gray line showing at the gum line.
Not so invisible then, huh?
Right. And they require more tooth preparation, meaning more of your natural tooth has to be removed.
Sounds like a compromise with both good and bad sides.
Exactly. And then there's zirconia, the new kid on the block.
Zirconia, that sounds fancy. What's the deal with that?
Zirconia crowns are made from a very strong ceramic material that's biocompatible and looks great.
So they're tough and pretty.
Exactly. And with new technology, some dentists can even make them in-house, meaning you can get a crown in a single visit.
Whoa, a crown in one day? That's amazing. Sign me up.
Well, hold on. Zirconia is usually the most expensive option.
Ah, there's always a catch.
And even though it's strong, it can wear down opposing teeth over time, unlike gold, which is softer.
So it's a trade-off between convenience, aesthetics, and long-term wear and tear.
Exactly. It's a lot to consider.
It sounds like choosing a crown is kind of like choosing a car. There are so many different models with different features and price points.
That's a great analogy. And just like with cars, you want to do your research and choose the one that best fits your needs and budget.
Well said. And of course, you always want to talk to your dentist, the expert mechanic of your smile.
Absolutely. They can guide you through the process and help you make the best decision for your oral health.
Great advice. Well, it looks like we've covered a lot of ground here today. We talked about what gold crowns are, the different types of gold alloys, the pros and cons compared to other materials, and most importantly, the importance of consulting with your dentist to make the right choice for you.
It's all about making informed decisions for a healthy and happy smile.
Absolutely. So now that we've got the basics down, let's get into the nitty-gritty of getting a gold crown. What can you expect during the procedure, and what kind of aftercare is involved?
That's a great question. We'll dive into all those details after a quick break.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in a flash. All right, so we've talked about all the different types of crowns and the pros and cons, but how about we walk through what it's actually like to get a crown, the whole process.
Okay, so first things first, you'll need a thorough dental exam with your dentist.
Makes sense. Got to make sure you're a good candidate for a crown, right?
Exactly. They'll check for decay, examine the surrounding teeth, and look for any bite issues.
So it's like a full inspection before the renovation.
Exactly. And once they've determined that a crown is the best option, the first step is preparing the tooth.
Okay, so what does that involve? Do they, file it down or something?
Yeah, they'll remove any decay and shape the tooth to create a stable base for the crown.
That sounds kind of scary. Is it painful?
Not at all. They use local anesthetic to numb the area, so you shouldn't feel any pain.
Whew, that's good to know. So it's more like pressure than pain?
Yeah, you might feel some pressure, but it's usually very manageable.
Okay, so once the tooth is prepped and ready to go, what's next?
Next, they'll take impressions of your teeth, which are like detailed molds.
Oh, so that's how they get the crown to fit perfectly.
Exactly. These impressions are sent to a dental lab where skilled technicians will create your custom crown.
It's like getting a tiny, tailor-made hat for your tooth.
That's a great way to put it. And while you're waiting for the permanent crown, they'll give you a temporary one.
So you're not walking around with a gaping hole in your mouth for weeks.
Right. The temporary crown protects the prepared tooth and allows you to function normally until the permanent one is ready.
That makes sense. So how long does it usually take for the permanent crown to be made?
It usually takes a couple of weeks, depending on the lab and the complexity of the crown.
Okay, so you go back to the dentist, they take out the temporary crown, and then pop the permanent one on.
Pretty much. They'll check the fit of the new crown, make any necessary adjustments, and then permanently cement it in place.
Voila, a brand new tooth, good as new, or even better.
Exactly. And with proper care, that crown can last for many years.
Speaking of care, what's the best way to keep a crown in tip-top shape?
Good oral hygiene is key, just like with your natural teeth.
So brushing, flossing, the usual.
Exactly. Brush twice a day, floss daily, and see your dentist for regular checkups and cleanings.
Got it. Anything else to keep in mind?
Yeah, it's important to remember that even though crowns are durable, they're not invincible.
So no chewing on rocks or anything?
Right. Avoid chewing on super hard things like ice or hard candy, and be mindful of habits like nail biting or teeth grinding.
Makes sense. You don't want to damage your investment.
Exactly. A little care goes a long way in keeping your crown and surrounding teeth healthy and happy.
All right, so we've covered the process of getting a crown and how to take care of it, but let's go back to something we touched on earlier, the history of gold teeth. You mentioned the Etruscans and Egyptians using gold in dentistry, but what about more recent times?
Well, gold teeth have a fascinating cultural history, especially in hip-hop culture.
Oh yeah, I've always wondered about that connection.
Gold teeth became a symbol of status, wealth, and individuality in hip-hop.
Like a way to stand out and express yourself?
Exactly. It's a powerful symbol of cultural identity and artistic expression.
So it's more than just the dental procedure, it's like a statement.
Right. It's a testament to how something functional can evolve into something so meaningful and symbolic.
That's really interesting. It's amazing how dental care has become so intertwined with culture and self-expression.
Absolutely. And it's not just about gold teeth. It's about the entire field of dentistry evolving.
What do you mean, like new materials and technology?
Exactly. We have so many options available today, from porcelain to zirconia and everything in between.
So it's not just about fixing teeth anymore, it's about creating a personalized experience.
Right. Dentists can tailor treatment plans to meet each patient's individual needs and preferences.
It's like a custom design for your smile.
You could say that. And it's only going to get more advanced and personalized in the future.
That's pretty exciting. So what do you think the future holds for gold crowns?
Well, I think gold will always have a place in dentistry because of its durability and biocompatibility.
But would it be able to compete with all these new materials coming out?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think gold crowns will continue to be a popular choice for people who value their longevity.
That makes sense. It's like the classic car of dental restorations, timeless and reliable.
Exactly. But it's also exciting to see what innovations the future holds for dental care in general.
Definitely. Who knows what amazing new materials and techniques we'll have in the years to come.
It's an exciting time to be in the field of dentistry, that's for sure.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about gold crowns, from the different types of gold alloys to the procedure itself and the cultural significance. Hopefully, our listeners are now feeling like gold experts themselves.
I think it's safe to say they're well equipped to make informed decisions about their dental care.
Absolutely. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to talk to your dentist.
They're the ultimate resource for all things dental health.
Well said. Now, before we wrap up this golden deep dive, I want to touch on one more thing, something that often gets overlooked when talking about dental care, the emotional aspect. Now, before we wrap up this golden deep dive, I want to touch on one more thing, something that often gets overlooked when talking about dental care, the emotional aspect.
Oh, absolutely. Dental health is about so much more than just physical well-being.
Right. Like your smile is such a big part of your identity, how you feel about yourself.
Exactly. It affects your confidence, your self-esteem, your social interactions.
And when you have dental problems, it can really take a toll on your emotional well-being.
Definitely. Things like pain, discomfort, or even just feeling self-conscious about your smile. It can impact your mood, your relationships, even your overall quality of life.
So it's not just about fixing the physical problem, it's also about addressing the emotional impact.
Exactly. And that's where a good dentist-patient relationship is so important.
Because you need to feel comfortable talking about those things, right?
Absolutely. You need to feel heard, understood, and supported by your dental team.
And a dentist who takes the time to listen to your concerns and address those emotional needs, that can make all the difference in the world.
It really can. It's about creating a holistic approach to dental care.
Where you're treating the whole person, not just the teeth.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's becoming more and more recognized in dentistry today.
Which is great because we're all complex beings and our dental health is just one piece of the puzzle.
Well said. It's all connected.
All right, so we've talked about the physical aspects of gold crowns, the history, the cultural significance, but we also need to remember that dental care is about so much more than just our teeth.
It's about our overall well-being, our confidence, how we feel about ourselves.
And finding a dentist who understands that and treats you as a whole person, that's essential for a truly healthy and happy smile.
Couldn't agree more. It's a partnership, a journey you take together.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of gold crowns.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring all the different facets of this timeless dental restoration.
We've learned about the different types of gold alloys, the pros and cons, the procedure itself, and even delved into the history and cultural impact of gold teeth.
Hopefully our listeners are now feeling more informed and empowered to make the best decisions for their own dental care.
Absolutely. And remember, whether you're considering a gold crown or any other dental treatment, the most important thing is to find a dentist you trust and feel comfortable with.
Someone who will listen to your concerns, address your needs, and guide you on your journey to a healthy and beautiful smile.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this golden adventure, everyone. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic in the world of paws. Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Until then, keep shining bright and don't forget to brush and floss those pearly whites.